Commence primary ignition.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Historian Kenji here. Played Cad Bane on the Book of Boba Fett on Star Wars Disney Plus. You're watching the Virtual Cantina Network. Have fun.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the it's over there, Virtual Cantina Watch-Along. I am your only regular host here. Everyone else has got other stuff going. So I'm your regular host, Dave, and I am joined back by popular demand. Our special guest from last week, Skip, is with us. How you doing, Skip?
I'm doing wonderful. Looking forward to having a good time tonight.
Excellent. And the host with the most from two different shows going on the network right now. Always the long-running Jedi Archives and the new Ahsoka after show. I've got Brice. How are you doing, Brice?
I'm doing great, and very excited to be here tonight.
Excellent. I am so interested to see you talk about this live. I mean, I see what happens when you and John and Mike talk about this stuff on the after show. Have you guys filmed that one for this episode yet?
Yes, did it yesterday.
Okay, so it's not like totally fresh things. You've done this once already, but I can't wait to see that, and that will drop. What, that drops tonight at midnight?
Midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern.
Sweet. So
yeah, it's a good one. We had a lot of great discussion. Mike and Jonathan, myself, a lot of fun.
Yeah, everybody check those guys. What's up? Mike is in the chat. How are you doing, Mike? So yeah, can't wait to see what the three of you guys together to take out of this one. And join us on some of our other shows. Like check out the Ahsoka after show on demand tomorrow. I don't expect you to stay up to 3 a.m., but some of you might.
Some people will.
And this Sunday we have another episode of my show with Gio and Kat. Kat being last night's guest on Daughters of the Galaxy. We are talking about Ahsoka, but we filmed it before episode 6, so it's up through episode 5, and that was enough. Okay, that was enough content.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Also check it out because we're posing the question, and it's a question: can Star Wars fans ever be happy with the new content? Can it happen? So
I mean, you're a certain guy on a certain channel that's got millions of followers. No.
Well,
it's
that kind of thing.
It's impossible to make everybody happy, So,
well, what we ask is, the Star Wars kind of did, or at least I don't know anybody who saw the originals close to the original time that don't like the original trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I just don't know a lot of the young hipsters, that are like, this is not my Star Wars. My Star Wars has like flaming cross-bladed lightsabers and people that yell Rey a lot. What happened? That was so slow. Maybe that's different. But yeah, as we have a pretty good discussion on that, and we mention the OT, the sequels, the prequels, we talk about the animated content, and a lot about the new content that's in there in Ahsoka. So check that out Sunday at 11 a.m. in the Eastern time. And then it'll be on demand every time after that, so you guys can watch and comment. Even if you're not watching our shows, any of our shows, if you're not watching them live, we check the comments and we'll be happy to address them on future episodes. So, all right. Remiss if we didn't talk about the Star Wars news of the week. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Tell me your thoughts.
Very big.
I think the biggest shock after everybody got over the announcement was pricing. It was like, oh, not going to be able to do this. I saw people go, well, that's 3 electric bills that I won't be paying to be able to get my Mark Hamill autograph. You know, all these things that they're going to give up to be able to do that. And then the other big portion of that is the day after Thanksgiving. So many people are going to be involved in their families, you know, so maybe that peels back a little bit of the demand. What do you think, Brice?
So when I saw the official pics and the send-ins there, and then saw the announcement with him being at Fan Expo, like I felt like those prices there were reasonable. And no fault of official picks or anything like that. Again, they're phenomenal. They do a great job. I've enjoyed the last 2 celebrations, you know, with the guests and everything. But yeah, I almost wish that I was in San Francisco to, you know, get an autograph, because I spent about that much on Billy D in London, and everybody knows that I did that. So to me, I was like really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, well, you were having to pay the celebration tax on Billy D. Is Skip and I? You got a Billy D in Raleigh? Yeah, Skip.
No, I did not get a Billy D. I got to see him at the panel, but I didn't get a Billy D.
So yeah, I got him in Raleigh, and I got him for probably about, I don't know, $75 or so cheaper than you paid in London. So that's kind of the expected kind of deal. But yeah, it was a pleasant experience. It's a great panel. It's a cool deal. But I mean, Mark freaking Hamill.
Yeah, it's good to see that he's doing a con. You know, it's close to home. So, in fact, he's doing it on the holiday weekend, right? He's doing it.
See, that's why I think Fan Expo San Francisco had to get Hamill. Is if you're going to get people to come to your con on Black Friday and Thanksgiving weekend, you got to go big or you're going home. And if you guys watch and follow their page, is today, mere hours after MH was officially announced, like it's been speculated all week, like they've been hinting. If you guys had paid attention this week early on, they put a picture of him behind the word guests above the listing of all of their guests. It was an old interview with him. It's like they've been trolling us all week. But mere hours after he was officially announced, is their VIP is sold out, gone.
Yeah.
And I fully expect the con to sell out sooner rather than later, especially since a couple hours after they announced Mark, they said there's more. They're not done. They're not done with Star Wars guests. They're announcing more tomorrow.
They've got plenty to pick from out there.
Harrison Ford.
Katie's. Yeah.
Dave and I were joking about this earlier. Is that there was no time to be able to go to this Fan Expo because, of course, it's the day after Thanksgiving. And then all of a sudden it's like, but if Harrison Ford gets announced tomorrow, oh, well, sorry, family, we're out of here.
Yeah, I'm literally going to be in Disney World that day. But, I mean, that Friday, it's just Epcot. I'll blow it off for Uncle Harry. We're done. It's on a plane. So, We shall see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think that's a reach, but you know, I will be extremely interested to see who they have because they've already got super heavy hitters. I mean, Ewan is there, Carl Weathers.
Katie.
They announced this week, and those guys were announced before the big Star Wars week. They were already there. Star Wars week, they announced Ray Park, Katie Sackhoff.
Yep.
Who else was it? Ray, Katie, and I don't know. I should have actually like paid
It was
attention.
Oh, you mean prior to Carl and you? I think it was just those four. I know there's a good amount of Star
I thought
Trek
they
stuff
announced
too.
I thought they announced a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but maybe they didn't do a Monday. I don't remember. It's the memory and that much. But yeah, there've been some cool announcements, and like I said, look more tomorrow. They've been dropping at sometime around 11 Pacific, so somewhere around 2 Eastern. Look out for those and see who it is that they're going to round
Mike's
out.
asking if I got my VIP pass. I must have some kind of reputation in this group.
You do.
Because everybody just presumes that Skip went and got the VIP pass.
So, Skip, I got to tell you this one because I made this funny. Brice has seen it. I made it in a chat that you're not in. Is they were talking about that, and it's like, oh, Skip didn't get the VIP sold out, and Skip didn't get him. And I'm like, no, don't count him out yet. He'll be on light in the next few minutes.
Yeah. That is how I've gotten some of my VIP passes.
say, Skip, how many celebrations you been to?
Just 2.
And you had Jedi passes for both, right?
Yeah.
And he
find a way to and I didn't get either one of them on the primary market. It was all secondary market purchases.
And he rolls early because every galaxy that I've been to with Skip, he's rolling VIP. Okay, he made me have to start getting VIP for that just so I can keep up.
There we go.
He did also, and he gets them early because you didn't make Rhode Island last year, and you were very kind to pass on a VIP.
Yeah. I was like, well, we can't let this VIP pass go to waste.
No, no. I made excellent use of that.
Yes, the VIP. Once you've gone VIP, you don't want to go back. I watched way too many lines going, oh my God, I couldn't imagine sitting in here for 3 hours trying to get one autograph.
My favorite thing about Anaheim was standing in Ewan's line and watching Skip go right in front of me.
I love it.
Hey, there's Skip. There's Skip.
Goes.
See you in a couple hours.
Very nice, very polite. Gave you the little, the parade wave as he rolled right by.
Yes. Yeah, I a little bit of a reputation I do. Maybe.
But friends, don't forget that even if you are one of the little people at Fan Expos San Francisco, is there will be a virtual cantina meetup. We're going to do that at I think it's called Trace at the W Hotel. I think it's a little bar, a little lounge at the W Hotel there. So look for details on the page. I don't have them like in my memory and brain at the moment. But definitely check that. Oh, there it is. Look at there. Boom. Had it right here in the thing. November 25th, 7 p.m. Trace at the W Hotel.
I want to go to this room just so I can see it.
So, okay, funny enough, look at this closely while we have it up. This is not the bar. This is the coolest picture that I found when I made this for the W Hotel. Look at where it is.
The gym.
Yeah.
It's a gym.
That's the gym at the W Hotel.
I'd have to go work out for that gym.
Yeah. So, it's pretty crazy. So, and also keep check of the page because there's another graphic coming out for that meetup. I've been at work this week. I've been inspired. So,
oh boy.
Oh yes. but we'll be posting that one soon. So, what do you guys think about? Brice talked about it a little bit. The pricing for Mark. I mean, the send-in one is crazy, and that's the way that a lot of them are going. I had to pass up on Michael Keaton for an official pick send-in because it's just every little thing is a different tier. Hello there. Every little thing is a different little tier. I mean, Mark is charging in that. Like, there's a different price for him writing the word Luke, the character name Luke, and a different price for writing Luke Skywalker.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
What I did was when I looked at the advertising for today for the actual convention, and I was going, okay, here's like, I think it was, I even skimmed over the first one. I don't know what that says about me. And then it was like, okay, here's, bring your own stuff. And then it was like the 3D stuff. So I was going, everything that I would want him to autograph so that it would be big and bold in my house where people could see it from across the room, whether it be a Red 5 helmet or a lightsaber box or something like that, that's like $6.99.
Mm-hmm.
It's like ouchie, ouchie. But,
some of the stuff.
The thing is, you never know if he's going to do another convention, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is we have a lot of friends who, I mean, if they're able to do that, would be doing this or doing this send in because, people who missed out on Carrie, people who, passed up that last convention that last year with Peter. And it's just like, no.
Yeah, I kicked myself for that one.
Right.
Just the opportunity to meet them.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's a whole other thing. If I were closer to San Francisco and I was there, is the send-in for me personally is easy to say, nah, too much. Not going to do it. It's easy. But I think like the same thing if it had been for Keaton or for Hamill, if it was, I don't know that I could pass it up if it was also the chance to do it. Facebook user right there, down there.
That's my wife. She's downstairs.
Okay. So
Mike already commented on it.
But I think that would be a whole other kind of thing if it were a chance for a meet and greet. But here's the deal, and I'm going to shout out to our friend Dave Lewis. Okay, as soon as I saw it was Mark Hamill, running joke. As soon as I saw it, I sent it to Dave Lewis, and he's like, prices. Dave is busted out the math. I don't know if he's like carrying a calculator in his back pocket or something. And I'm like, here's the price list. And he's like, oh, the way to go right there is that if you pay for the 4-person photo op and you get 4 people to split that, that's under $115. And I'm like, Dave, oh my gracious, you are the mathematician of the sense, because that's the way to go. That's how you afford the deal.
It's like San Francisco's not that far away.
What? Yeah, I mean, so.
Yeah, I was. I had a different opinion for a little while, and then I kind of played with it, and then I put it to bed and said no. But the first one was I'd much rather just send my stuff in, because I thought even in a VIP pass line, that's going to be one long miserable line for 5 seconds in front of Mr. Hamill to say thank you. Why not just send my stuff in and get it autographed and say, I've got it autographed. I know it's him. I just didn't get to meet him. And I was thinking that time suck right there is something I think I'm all right missing out on.
Right.
I don't know. I've been there, done that. Like I stood in line for, see right there, Mike.
Yeah. Mike's like,
Mike, you're a little bit closer than the rest of us. It's a little bit easier.
I think I did the math on like what my hotel stay.
Mike could just take the corporate jet too.
Yes.
Yeah, we were on the Tuesday chat, and I'm minimizing the screen and going, okay, let me pull up my Delta app, and okay, it's $1,000, just a little over $1,000 for the flight, and then $141 a night for 3 nights at the hotel, then $349 for the VIP pass. I seem to remember all this stuff, and I was like, wow, oh crap, it's the day after, because I'm not going Thanksgiving. I can see my family frying me, because the only flight out of Asheville was Thanksgiving morning, not Thanksgiving evening. Like, I couldn't go eat dinner with everybody in the afternoon and then run to the airport and fly out, that night. Doesn't quite work that way.
Look, Mike's offering right there. Stay at his house and ride up in Brittany. There you go.
There we go.
Brittany.
Love me a little Tesla. Bridget came back from Anaheim riding in Mike's Tesla, and all she could talk about was, wow, that Tesla was nice. That Tesla was nice. I'm like, yeah, you try and drive to the beach from our house in that Tesla.
Yeah. You can stop at my house and charge it.
There we go. All done.
Oh.
Stop at Mike's.
We're not just going to be doing this the entire time. Please go ahead and be queuing up your Disney Plus to, Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 6, Far, Far Away. So we are going to be watching that at the top of the hour, coming up in about 8 minutes. So be ready for that. So Tesla superchargers are everywhere in California, Mike.
No, we actually have quite a few being installed here in Traverse, in our little town of Traverse City, Michigan. Our big grocery store, Meijer, actually has a bunch, and then they just put in a bunch out in front of our mall as well.
You are ahead of us here in North Carolina. Now, the big news in my little town is we are getting an Aldi. I'm betting they're going to put some superchargers in at the Aldi. That'll be the draw there.
Dude, Aldi's great.
Yeah. So,
as progressive as Asheville is, we don't have that many chargers.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised there's not more Teslas in Asheville, though. But I guess it's because they're not all-wheel drive. You got too many Subarus.
We do actually. There, you see quite a bit of Teslas on the mountains of North Carolina.
Yep, indeed.
We are a Subaru town too, which is hilarious that you bring that up. Like, Jeeps and Subarus are everywhere up here, but there are a lot of Teslas. And we just start seeing
it. You gotta have one. It's the new deal. It's what the people have to have. It's what apparently, wives just need to purchase.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I may or may not have gotten an email like yesterday that said, sign these papers. For what? We bought a Jeep. What? Wait, where? There what? Like, good news, your truck's paid off. Bad news, I just used it as collateral to buy a Jeep. Oh, okay. Yes, Mike, I did just sign. I did. It's just like, nope, it's not worth it.
Just sign.
I tell everybody you should.
What kind of Jeep?
I haven't even seen it, Brice. I don't even know.
Don't know what color it is, what model it is,
I suspect, I believe it is not the one that she went to look at. It's another one. I think she bought the Jeep truck, the Gladiator.
Oh.
So,
depending on what version, that's a hefty price tag.
But, if she bought what I'm thinking, it's probably the diesel.
See, I used to joke about this. I'd say, okay, when you get a electric truck that'll pull my Traco and my horses. Now the third thing has to be, and I can get from here to the beach. I can drive 5 hours and not have to spend 3 hours recharging it. Then we'll talk. But the torque in the electric vehicles is much better than the gas or diesel ones.
There you go, Sarah. That's it. Here, let me. Yeah, the Teslas, the deal is. We were talking about there are a couple of people that come through my school that drive a Ford Lightning now that have the electric 150.
Oh.
And I'm like, But yeah, its range is I think that could pull the stuff, but it ain't gonna pull it far.
Yeah. Pull my horses down to Biltmore, pull them back. That's about it.
Well, they would probably do that. But
yeah, that new Ford F-150, I saw one in the Christmas parade pulling a float last year.
It's purdy.
Yes, so you can like crank up the music.
It's more of a lightsaber hum. It was more of a lightsaber hum.
There we go.
Oh, they start putting out Ford Lightnings with like a light up lightsaber decal down the back of the bed. I'm in.
It's all over.
Sold. Like lightsaber.
They kind of have one that goes across the entire top of the grill.
Lightsaber running boards.
There you
go. Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Oh, there it is. There's no politics in Star Wars in the virtual cantina, Sherry.
Yeah. No politics in Star Wars. Oh my gosh.
That's the kind of thing. So, friends, we're about 3 minutes away. If you don't have it queued up, or if it's like mine, which is I had queued up and timed out, we go ahead and getting that set back up again.
I'm in the the little star that goes across. I'm about halfway through.
There you go. Well, I've got mine back to the black screen, and I'm going to roll. And gentlemen, don't forget to have your volume turned down a little bit or whatever, because, you know, the algorithm on the Facebook will kick us out if they think, you know, we hear
we're anything. Rebroadcasting.
Oh, heaven forbid.
I'm muted, closed captions on.
There we go.
Oh, see, I'm not that smart, Brice.
Well, see, I do it this way: is I listen with the earbuds because I want to hear it, but I also have the closed captions going, so you know I don't miss because there's some things that I've
got it on a pretty good size TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Dave's living in Tech Central over there. You know,
I do. I've got a monitor over here and a monitor over there and a monitor over there, and I've got my iPad down here, and I got my phone over there for the other 47 virtual cantina chats.
I guess I could have put my earbuds in and listened to my phone, you know.
See, Sarah gets it right there. The subtitles just give you some of the details. Is like some of the things you'll see is like it'll name characters before you've necessarily named characters and all sorts of cool stuff. So
missing out, I am.
And sometimes they're just absolutely hilarious for like melodic hum or something when you have like the slave one detonates the mine, or it's great.
I guarantee if I try and put my subtitles on right now, I'll end up shutting my TV off.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not suggesting do it now. It's just
I will have to remember that for the next show.
Yes, Sarah. Yes. Spoiler alert. I'm not putting that up on the screen yet, but yes. So all right. So it is that time. Everybody ready? Everybody queued? Everybody good?
I'm good.
Sweet. All right. So I am going to go back to the little thing. And we are going to find the countdown from 10. And here we go. And we're back. Don't ever skip the thing. Watch the whole previews. Watch the recap. See, okay, the political side of this is just getting on my freaking nerves. It's like when I watch like the news and sitting there going, how clueless do these politicians have to be that they're believing what they're smoking there, and it's just like, oh, we have Imperials in every level of government, and it's fine.
Yeah, I just thought that was more of a representation of what we saw back in episode 1 with Chancellor Valorum, right? Couldn't make any decision because of bureaucrats, needs to be a committee. The Chancellor does not have real power, and you kind of see that in that scene with Mon Mothma.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, I know what George's deal is, and he's giving an essay on, politics of this war or that war. I don't know how much of a political guy Dave is, and if this is just an essay on the, silliness of Washington D.C., or if he is just kind of sticking with George's Star Wars kind of governmental plot line.
Right.
I love this. If you listen, you're getting whale song in the background while they're even doing the opening. But what are everybody's thoughts on the new hyperspace, the whale hyperspace?
I really thought they did a good job with this.
Oh yeah, sure.
I thought the effects, the color, and then I love that the two of them are sitting back, like they're in a hyperspace jump, just chilling out, waiting for it to time out.
It's just like this. They've been watching our show.
Yeah, I think I said it Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday in the chat. That I showed a picture of the N1 starfighter with Grogu and Mando. Mm-hmm. When Grogu looks out and sees Purrgil, is he witnessing what we're seeing right now? Because we don't really know. We know the end of Mando season 3 ties into Ahsoka, right? But at what point?
Yeah.
So did he witness that? And I know Gio got all scientific on me, but I'm like, come on, man, it's space magic.
We don't know. I am loving this. Is how much David Tennant we got in this. When we saw this kind of thing and this was announced, I personally assumed it was going to be like a glorified cameo, but he's like in there.
Yeah, it's great. Everything about it. Really like Hu Wang a lot.
To some extent, it's very logical. You've got this relationship that has to be hashed out between Ahsoka and Sabine. So that means that they can't always really be together. And then, yes, he did say the thing.
Here it comes. I don't know if you guys are exactly where I am with it.
Yeah, just about now, I think.
Yes.
But I've got the sound down, so I can't really tell for sure. But he makes it's almost like a narrator. He's constantly there. His character was able to be constantly there to be telling the story. They didn't stay together. I always tell them to stay together. All these things. He was able to tie the story together. You needed that character, and Hu Yang made for a perfect vehicle for doing that.
Well, and he's the historian. He's the throughput of the whole deal because he's been around for hundreds, if not thousands.
2,500 years, I believe.
Yeah, thousands of years. He's seen all of these sabers. We get him identifying Baylan from his saber.
Yes. And didn't know Shin's. Because she was trained outside the order.
Which?
25,000 years. Thank you, Mike, for correcting.
Mike would be our encyclopedia, Mike.
There we go.
I knew it started with the 25. I couldn't remember. But we talked about it on the show. Yeah. Now, the cool part is going back to the whole Hu Wang and saying, far, far away. is in Anaheim when Andy Gutierrez is interviewing Dave Filoni. He goes, "Oh, you guys want to know where he is? He's far, far away," which is also the title of this episode.
See, this is the thing that we've talked about. I think we talked about on Unifying Force is Dave has had this in his pocket for a long time. It is not, because we were talking about, the hate of the sequel trilogy and how it was just kind of cobbled and thrown together, and they might have had a plan at one point, but it changed, it went left, it went right, it's gone. Dave, there are Easter eggs and things that are happening here that he sprinkled and set the seeds for in like season 1 of Rebels. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, think this live action show was going to be the next season of Rebels. He's just in a different medium. He's had this planned that long.
Well, he's a long game player. He's always been one for long game. I mean, some of the stuff that got carried over from Clone Wars into Rebels, just amazing stuff. Even we were discussing this before the show, the season 1 Rebels where Ezra is receiving his stone for his lightsaber, the kyber crystal. There's that just 10, 15, 20-second shot of the world between worlds that then comes back much later. He's willing to give you a little taste and hold on to that and then play it out. And he does it so successfully. I don't know that he had this drawn out and he was following this plan from the beginning, but he sure does give you the feeling that he did.
Yeah. Did anybody get like Lion King vibes here in the space whale graveyard, like the elephant graveyard from Lion King? Maybe it's just me.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. I didn't see it. I didn't think about it that way, but that's actually an excellent analogy.
Yes, flying through the bones was creepy, but I just kept seeing Simba and Nala like going through the different skeletons in the thing. Yes, Pride Rock on the planet. Right. See, Disney Easter eggs on top of Star Wars Easter eggs. That's where I'm at. That's my fandom. Those are my people right there. But
yeah, coming through here, going through the clouds and seeing the storms and everything. There were times in Rebels that they were doing this, and even in the Clone Wars, going through, even in Rogue One when they're on Edu, they have to get below the atmosphere. This one here, especially when you see this shot where they're coming up with the tall statues, it's very Lord of the Rings-esque in my mind. Very much Middle Earth, ancient statues, leading to the Kingdom of Gondor.
Yeah. Now, did anybody put 2 and 2 together before you saw it? When you saw the first, like, really elongated woman's face statue, did anybody put Dathomir?
No.
I just thought the sisters, really, the Night Sisters, is what I thought for sure. Shocked when they get off the ship and see some people.
Well, you almost have to. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised by it because she'd already mentioned that she was a Night Sister, and that the map was all done through the the Night Sisters' power. So for her to show up and they were there was not really surprising. But I do love the whole tie-in of the birthplace of the Night Sisters.
Yeah. I love that they've seeded that they're coming from this galaxy far, far away, and they've migrated to the Star Wars galaxy. And yes, Sarah, what they have done with Sabine, this entire show is on my nerves. It's just like, that is not our Sabine from Rebels.
I think I've said this once before. They didn't develop the overcome. You go into these stories and you got a character who's been around for a long time, and they've developed a certain personality, and you don't see it. Something's happened to them to create them to be different from who they usually are, and that wasn't developed enough before they go into okay, now she's got to go on this journey, the Iliad, and understand she needs to get back to who she truly is.
Yeah, and I hope that happens. Like I said, in Filoni we trust for now. But yeah, I mean, I really hope.
I'm okay because I think there's a bigger story that's still to come with her. She's always been, and even at the end of Rebels, when she's touching the mural, and we're getting her as the narrator of that whole epilogue. She says it's all about Ezra, right? It's time to bring him home. To where, like, the whole time, her only agenda was to find Ezra. And whether you want to say Ahsoka used Sabine or Sabine used Ahsoka to get there, Sabine's only concerned about one thing. And by the way, this is like Minister, but the evil portion.
Oh yeah.
And there we go. Our World Between Worlds reference in the lines.
Yeah. Well, and Sarah, here's what I think and what I was heartened by in thinking back. I didn't catch it really when I saw this episode the first time, but when we were talking about it in the Ahsoka after show, and if you guys don't join for the Ahsoka after show, immediately after the show, we watch it on Tuesday at about 9:45, 10 o'clock. We get back on Zoom and we all talk live, and anybody can join. The link's always on the group. Come back in. And when we talked about it, the Night Sisters just blatantly said, this one reeks of Jedi or smells of Jedi. And after Hu Yang is just making fun of Sabine and how little of the Force or little midichlorians or whatever she has, and he's like, you're the worst. They immediately. So there is so much more Jedi in her, I think, that I hope to goodness we see.
It's like she's got a blockage, and the blockage needs to be released so that she can be the true Jedi that we hope she will be.
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah, I have my theories on that, but I'm not going to discuss those now.
Okay. All right. And I will, mine, but, like there's imminent opportunities for her to release that, is that she wasn't slimed, Sarah. There's not like, it slimed me and there's the residue from Ahsoka. I think there's so much more potential in her. She has been the holder of the Darksaber, the new Mandalore, the legacy of the first Mandalorian Jedi who created it. I so many opportunities for her to release it. If Ezra gets in trouble, if Thrawn and Enoch and the new guys are threatening Ezra, she is about to go off. I don't know.
Yeah, her warrior skills seem somewhat diminished, and that may be a representation, Sarah, of the brokenness that they were trying to portray, that they just maybe didn't build up enough, or we would have wanted it to be built up more.
We've seen just teeny tiny glimpses of it. The fight against Shin, the second fight against Shin, when she's armed with the lightsaber and stuff, and she just totally shoots her with the Mandalorian gauntlet. I'm like, that's our Mandalorian right there.
Or even what's about to come up here when she's starting to block shots instead of with a lightsaber with her blaster, which must be made out of Beskar.
Well, I think she was doing it with the gauntlets, with her wrists, maybe.
We'll have to look closely.
Yes.
Well, when she was blocking the lightsaber?
No. When they were shooting at her and she didn't have the lightsaber yet, she had her blasters in her hand. It was almost like she was using her blaster as the lightsaber to shield her.
No, I think those were her gauntlets because did she only have the one?
I think
she only had. Did she have both? Did she have both vests?
She had
She had
dual
both
vest stars, like Bo-Katan wears.
Yeah, she did have both.
I'm obviously
She got hit in the chest plate quite a bit.
Now that's another thing that I think is completely different than Rebels that's evolved is she's the Din Djarin school of Mandalorian, which is just walk out there and get shot all over the place. Like, oh yes, Mike, the Chimera that was a reveal right there.
Now,
I think it's different though, seeing like them in animation and not getting shot than versus like live action, because I don't think we've seen like them get shot so much in the animated.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Is that's her different, and that's how Dave has adapted it, and that's Din Djarin's go-to, which is just walk out in the middle of the whole thing, relying
ding,
upon
ding, 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 hearing the dings.
Yeah.
Is anybody else, kind of like there's something that's being missed here, and that's how this story with Balin is going to be played out. How he's feeling like there's something significant here, and Thrawn is kind of like, yeah, he's just as disposable as Sabine and Ezra. There's something left to be played out in this story. At least I hope there is.
Or
100%.
Or there was, and there can't be anymore because of the actor's death. I'm hoping it's not that.
Well, I think there's in this series there is something to be played out. Well, you're right, Dave. Maybe Filoni kept him around after the end of the series in hopes to play that out and didn't get to do it.
Okay, we're at the scene right now. Thrawn's coming out, but the troopers are what we're all looking at, not Dad Bod Thrawn. We're like, holy crap, that dude has a face, and look at this.
Oh my gosh.
All of the cracks. There are members of the 501st with ball peen hammers going at their extra set of armor right now. And just like
for sure.
Yeah, this whole series has changed how the 501st looks at their Stormtrooper cosplay.
Yeah, that's something we talked about on the show was Enoch's helmet being a nod to THX 1138.
Nice. He's a little short for a Stormtrooper. But I do
catch the chanting, Sarah. That's interesting.
Oh, that crossed my mind, but that would have been crazy.
Well, what is it? Project Catherine.
Necromancer.
Yeah, Project Necromancer. The question is, are some of them dead?
Yes. I believe so.
I think that's got to be the payoff for what was up with Morak. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be our payoff and our explanation. And imagine if that's what's in these dudes and that's what's happening when Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra start going ham on these dudes with lightsabers, and we're just going to see
Yeah, these are the just like the episode in Rebels where Maul uses that magic to and you've got all the spirits, all these stormtroopers that are actually Night Sister spirits. That would be interesting. A little too much blood troopers for me. What was his name? Shapiro. Where's Mike where I need him? Mike, what was the Haunted Trooper book?
Death Troopers.
Death Troopers. And who wrote that? Is it Shapiro?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Sarah. That's I think his name is Morak, and that I think that's going to be our payoff. That's what's going to explain that. So, Mike, I know you're in the chat there. what are you thinking about how they got here in the space whales? And they're talking about how they've crossed the galaxies. Are these paths that the Purgle use? Are they the same paths that the Nile have found and that they navigate in the High Republic?
It's Joe Schreiber.
Yeah. Thank you, Google. Ray is just so awesome in the show.
Yeah.
Dude, he's, yeah. Yeah, his character's very stoic.
It was this fight while watching him. That voice is the voice of Thrawn on Rebels. And then you're killing me, Dave, with that dad bod Thrawn because he's not quite as good as character.
I'm okay with it. And Sophia and I watched it yesterday, and as soon as Lars started speaking, she goes, "Dad, that's the same guy from Rebels."
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's how cool it was to see her at 6 just crush that scene, like, and then she's freaking out because Thrawn was back.
That makes me feel a lot better about it, because the body threw me off a little bit, because I think Thrawn, I didn't imagine him as having aged. You know, I would think that Thrawn would be one of those characters and those creatures that is like ageless and they stay exactly the same. I had pictured him as who he was fan cast as for a long time, as like David Tennant or Benedict Cumberbatch, or somebody very, very thin and very.
What was the line that Enoch gives him there about die?
Die well.
Die well, or something to that effect.
Yep.
And then these, like, I think it's been talked about. So Thrawn is about Balin's age, Mike. Is that what we're saying? But who knew what? I'm sure there's EU content on that. I assumed Chiss were like the level of long lived as like a Wookiee, that it wouldn't particularly matter. He doesn't age the same way humans do. Now, yes, the Howlers I thought were super cool. It's a very, I thought when I first saw them, I thought Lothwolves. Of course,
you thought what?
Lothwolves.
Oh yeah, I did too. But that Howler has to have a name, because that Howler has got great character.
Nice.
I thought first it was like Splinter's face on a dog. And they kind of reminded me of the wargs from Lord of the Rings, just not as nasty.
I want to say there's a character in what is the movie? Is it like a Labyrinth? Are there characters that are similar to that in Labyrinth, or the Dark Crystal maybe?
Oh gosh.
Oh, I thought about that too. Yeah, I thought about that too.
Pulling out some 80s.
That's where I live. The
Chiss
all day.
All day long.
Chiss life expectancy is 80 years.
Okay.
They can live to be 80.
This Howler is going to have a name, and it's going to have marketing. It's going to be, okay.
I mean, it's got to get an action figure at the very least. We need we've got to have a vintage collection size that the vintage collection Sabine can ride.
Oh, don't forget, there's the Black Series.
I think she's doing a pretty good job of being a badass warrior right here.
She is. I think she's got. It's a lot. She's doing a little bit more of the Din Djarin style of getting your ass kicked a little bit too much, that for my taste. But
see her. I think that one pistol just got
yeah,
shot
she
out of
did
her hand.
hit the blaster with that one, but it knocked the blaster out of her hand. She didn't deflect it. But yeah, I mean, she blocks there. See, that's when I thought, when she just hacked the staff in half, I was like, is that Ezra? And then it was like, oh.
The kick to the face, definitely an Ahsoka move.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that meme I saw today. I would never go to the dark side without a good reason. Good reason. Shin.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There
She
you
said this
go.
was her favorite episode when they interviewed her.
I love this. Shouldn't you be sending more?
He's like, look, who's the Grand Admiral here?
But he's never been unwilling to explain his logic to the people that, which is what made him such a great leader. He educated, not just mystified.
Yeah. Now, see, here's another one that would be too old to do this, but when I'm sitting here listening to him, the way he's talking about this in the calm, is it sounds very Michael Caine. And I was like, ooh, that a younger Michael Caine would have been cool in this role. But yeah, so I just want I want this to be vintage collection, not Black Series, just so I can get this. The Howler, but like this. That's what I want. Just a little trap door in here, and like because I met, this is one of the guys that I met, the guy that actually designed the little trap door in the figure so it would work.
You knew this scene, as the camera didn't move, you knew she was walking out of the scene, and boom, here we go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The audio too high on the what do you mean, Mike? Is it the audio too high of the episode, or is our mics too high?
I think, because I've heard it a few times that the show's playing in the background.
That was mine too.
I'm in headphones.
Must be me.
Yeah. Now, I've heard a lot of people, I haven't seen, and I don't know as much. A lot of people say that this Howler is modeled after Filoni's dog. What's up, Hunter? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Hunter?
Yes, we were talking about the news with the Mark signing earlier, Hunter, is just holy wow.
The mortgage payment.
Yes. Because, I mean, yeah, I want one. I want a Mark Star Wars. I have a Mark autograph, but it's on Batman the Animated Series. So I want a Star Wars one. But yeah, I really like the way that this Howler kind of it lopes off, and it's this really kind of nice combination between like a wolf lope and even more a little bit more horse-like.
It also had a very Star Wars-esque type of tone with the humor that we were seeing with this one. There's always been humor in Star Wars. This has been a kind of a very dark and dreary story of, oh gosh, everybody's broken. I'm trying to keep Thrawn from coming back. Hey, we have a little humor. This is Star Wars.
I thought right here, and just something that came right into my head as watching it again, is when the rock trolls in Frozen.
It's Grandpappy. It's Grandpappy. So I posted, I think, in one of my reels. If you haven't seen it, you should go look. Somebody took the song from that scene in Frozen and overlaid it on this. It's
No
like,
way.
oh, fixer upper. Yes.
Oh, yes, I've seen that. Yes.
Fixer upper song.
Yeah, like, okay, the gig is up. We already know you're underneath there.
Now, Mike, I'm gonna say right now, my reels that are on my page, I know it looks like I'm doing it. That is Scooby. All those reels, the amazing Star Wars trivia reels and stuff like that. Give credit where the credit is due. I have my my Facebook set up to transfer the Virtual Cantina Instagram stuff. So
Oh, nice.
all of that is coming from Scooby, and it's so I can then share it to the group on there. So give credit where credit is due. Scoob is the man, and that is where all those really cool reels come from.
Do you see how the fingers are digits on this little character? And rather interesting.
What's that? How it's like a mitten hand or something?
Yeah, it's kind of a cross between crab claw and fingers.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they're a little bit more like a hermit crab, but very.
I was getting like Teenage Mutant Ninja Hermit Crab vibes. Because they're wearing clothes, they've got that kind of shell that's sitting a little high that's hermit crab shaped, and the little eye stalks. Teenage Mutant Ninja Hermit Crabs. Now this was a fun little reveal. Is that
Yeah.
The hilarious part is when there's like 7 or 8 of them there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess they weren't so easy to find.
And the Howler just wants to eat one.
Yeah.
Looks yummy to me. That lick of its lips, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. But these are little funny dudes. Please don't let them get slaughtered by stormtroopers.
Right.
Maybe they're very Ewok-esque and are badass little guys.
Now that would be a fun reveal. If they go all crazy, yes.
We find out that they're the true diminishers of the.
They're the reason why he doesn't have as many stormtroopers. It's because they've gotten their ass kicked by like little hermit crabs.
Yeah, the hermit crab, stormtrooper killers.
Yeah, they remind me of those aliens in Star Wars Resistance that were working on the underside of, and they would be hiding out underneath in like the engineering and all that other stuff.
You're on your own, Brice. I watched about that much Resistance before I couldn't take it anymore. But I have here lately.
Mike knows.
I've here lately gotten a whole lot of people tell me that it got better. So I think I need to go back and delve back into it.
It was definitely built for kids, but if you certain points during that whole thing,
Trained in the Wild,
really tied into the sequel trilogy really well.
Yeah, I love that right there. It's like the Trained in the Wild. But
what do you call it? Broken something or other?
Boken. See, I want to know what better she was trained for. What's the deal?
I think.
Yeah, she's not Sith. You would have called her by that by now. She is Jedi with a little bit more.
Like a gray Jedi. I'm feeling the gray Jedi vibes.
I don't know how you can say gray and be in league with a night sister wrong. But I mean,
see, I don't think they are though. That's my thing. I think he's doing Morgan's bidding to get where he needs to go because in the scene he even says, do you hear it calling to me? So he's got ulterior motives to be here anyway. So I don't think he's necessarily in league with them.
What do you think's calling?
I think it's an object more than I think it's a sentient being.
I think it's the Force.
I was wondering if we would get this planet's version of the Bendu.
Maybe.
And
So I find this scene very interesting too because, the way it's filmed here, and you're getting the backside of these nomads, and if you listen to this music, it's very Knights of Ren. And if you go back to Rise of Skywalker, when Chewie comes out of the ship to get Rey, and you see the two Knights of Ren, they film it from behind them. It's very similar music. It's kind of weird.
I mean, it would be interesting. How's it going, Jonathan? Look, we've got the entire crew of the Ahsoka After Show on the watch along tonight. Hey. And now their village and their little houses, I was way too distracted getting Fifth Element vibes. Those big round things that like Lilu comes out of eventually. That's what I thought.
They're easy to pack up because they probably just go into a ball and then they can just move them where they need to go.
Space campers. Yes, very pill bug sort of thing. Oh, if Balin is like gone to the galaxy far, far away to like restart a Jedi Order in there and fashion it under his own like thing, that's deep, Troy.
It's also a possibility.
Yeah, smoking their meat on the dehydrator. The slow pan of all the little hermit crab people. And then right in the background, I really like his look, but I don't love his voice. It doesn't sound Ezra to me yet. Now, is he wearing like Beskar chainmail like Grogu?
Yes. Yeah, I always wondered about that. That was something that, looking at it, it's like, yeah, this looks like chainmail. Like, I remember him having chainmail or needing chainmail or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, Sherry. He's older. It's the whole deal. They're all same thing, Mike. I know. They're older. He's a grown man. I just want some of that playful banter.
Yeah, and it was much smoother talking Ezra than what we saw at the end of Rebels. But he does have the blue eyes.
There's the other thing that's going to just bite you in the butt. It's a thing that Sabine's done. That it's like he's like, how'd you get here on a howler? What you're doing? What's up? and she doesn't tell him that, oh, like Thrawn might be like 2 minutes behind me.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're mixing your metaphors, Troy. That's right there. So some Nolan trilogy stuff.
There you go.
I do it at work all the time.
Yeah.
I get very like Rogue One vibes when they show this, the Chimera, and it's cloudy around. It's like in Solo when they're coming back out, and then the Empire's there cutting them off.
But
it's similar,
it's
like
the Chimera that's been repaired at 84 lumber, right? Yep.
Does anybody think that they're pushing around coffins?
Yep. Completely.
Oh, it's 100%. Yeah.
Taking the dead back with them.
I think I don't know what else reasonably it could be.
This is why they couldn't have Benedict Cumberbatch do this, because they already did that in Star Trek.
Yes, that is true. That he had already, hidden the. Well, they weren't dead. Okay, they were in suspended animation behind the torpedoes. Right. Yeah. Oh, Mike thinks the same thing, that they're doing the Star Trek, that the lights are on the thing, so they're not dead. They're in cryosleep.
And are they troopers or are they Night Sisters?
This was a big source of discussion last night on the Asajj Ventress episode of Daughters of the Galaxy. Big thing is Kat and Ashley talking about, are they attempting to bring back the Night Sisters? Like, they're going to bring them back to the Star Wars galaxy and just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, and John's like, okay, we're going to reanimated corpses. We're going to get Star Wars zombies. So,
Death Troopers.
Well,
Death Troopers.
I mean, that's
100%.
what these night troopers or whatever already are. We're thinking that they're all broken up and stuff because they're dead. So zombie stormtroopers has been a cosplay thing for a while. Is we may see that, like we talked about this on the support group as well. Is, oh my gracious, the amount of cosplay that they just put in this for Japan is insanity. I've been half joking before where there's 501st guys beating up their armor, but I really do think there are probably people that are fishing out unacceptable kind of broken 3D prints that they're fishing them out of the trash right now because they're like, I can now use that.
And they bought the red tape. Let me roll some red tape around all of this and make it work.
It looked more like a ribbon.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Is very ribbony.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, these are more like the Night Sister zombies, where the spirits of the Night Sisters come in, because those during that episode actually did think and consider a lot. Space
duct tape. Yeah.
Electric tape. Usually when you got colors like that, it's electric.
That's even better. But I'm sitting here just trying to, I didn't freeze frame and stuff the credits last time to see what we got. So JJ being the stunt coordinator, we've got some stunt doubles and stuff. Plenty of stunt performers, a lot of puppeteers that I'm assuming are, the
hermit crab people.
Ninja Turtle things. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought not at all what I was really expecting, but really, really fun episode. I mean, the
I like
troopers
how Spencer.
thing out of left field. You like what,
Yeah,
Brice?
for sure. I like how Spencer said it. It was expected, but in an unexpected way. And I thought we got just a lot of really great stuff. And the way that they did the reveals in this episode were not forced. They didn't feel like fan service. It felt like necessary storytelling to progress. So to me, it was a great episode. It's not going to didn't hit me in the feels like the previous one did. But yeah, great episode though.
So my favorite meme of the day is why on earth has Dave Filoni spent an entire 6 episodes telling about how Thrawn returned? Didn't he know he could have just said somehow Thrawn returned? But but Dave is telling a story. He's doing what he needs to do. But that has been my complete favorite meme of the last 2 days.
Somehow the Emperor lives.
But now here's my complaint. There's not enough of this series left to give me all the resolution that I want and all the backstory and things out of this. They're not going to. They're going to make us wait however many. I hope we get some more of it in Mando season 4, maybe. Which means if we're going to get more of it in Mando season 4, it works. They get back to the Star Wars galaxy. If we get it in Mando season 4, it means they get out of there, the whole thing, and we're going to have to hash it out. But I cannot wait 2+ years for this to be in the feature film, Mike. I can't. I am worried that it's going to wait until then.
I've said from the beginning of this series, it wasn't whether they'd get us to the end. It's how close to the end they would get us before they passed it off to the Filoni movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's that, 2026, 2027? The movie's supposed to be out?
Not going to do much with this strike going on.
But here's the other deal is how much of this will we maybe, hopefully, if all of the shows are supposed to tie together, are we going to get more in Skeleton Crew?
Same time frame.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there'll be certain pieces and that go along with it, for sure. Something that I thought about, I didn't bring up after show because I thought about it this morning, was what if we get an end credit scene? Maybe we know they make it back, and the end credit scene is them showing up on Mandalore. So we don't get Mando and Grogu, but we get Bo-Katan.
I mean,
we will see.
I think that's a reasonable thing, and I think a lot of fan complaints that you have about Mando season 3 would have been fixed if you called Mando season 3 the Book of Bo-Katan. If you hadn't called it Mando season 3, if you just labeled it something else, a lot of those complaints I think could have gone away.
But
but I still see it.
I thought it worked better as a Mando season 3 than Book of Boba Fett worked as a story about Book of Boba Fett.
Well, I get that, but Mando season 3 was largely about Bo-Katan.
But it's called The Mandalorian, not the Book of Din Djarin.
Right.
So it just transitioned from him being the Mandalorian to her being the Mandalorian.
Maybe,
Like,
but I still stand by. I think he is the Mandalorian, because I really think at some point he is going to be the Mandalore. He is going to be the rightful holder of the Darksaber, and forced, and want it or not, he is going to be forced to lead his people.
do you think they're going to reforge a Darksaber because it got crushed?
I think we
Sabine
gotta
and Bo-Katan, who have got much more calling to that place in Mandalore than I think Din.
they have. She has the historical right. She's got the bloodline to it, but again, there's no politics in Star Wars. But who should serve in public office? The person who wants it the least is probably the best choice. My personal take is, right there is Bo wants it. Bo wants it for the wrong reasons. It's because it's a family thing. It's my obligation. It's my legacy. But it's not because here's what I want to do for Mandalore. Din Djarin doesn't want it because I am a Mandalorian. I walk the way. This is what I do. Oh, wait, who would be a really good leader of Mandalore? The person who doesn't want it for selfish reasons, who wants to walk the way, who wants to be the ideal Mandalorian.
Okay, I'm gonna one up you.
Okay.
The person who has given away the Darksaber, but now is also being trained how to use the lightsaber, and would bring a back to Mandalore another Mandalorian Jedi, Sabine. I think there's a higher likelihood of her being that leader than Din.
It's entirely possible. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption as well. Is she gave it up? She's owned it. She gave it up. I don't know, but yes, Brice. In order to go back in that, I cannot see the Darksaber staying destroyed. It's too much of a legacy and a symbol of the Mandalorian people that it's gonna stay gone.
I feel like that holds true to old Mandalore. We have a new Mandalore now.
We do.
And I feel like that Darksaber is not necessarily going to be something they use to represent the rightful ruler. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's some cool stuff, Mike, with
he's a baby. He's got another 50 years before he gets to maturity.
At least. But yeah, I don't know if the Darksaber comes back. I think there's other ways that they're going to symbolize who the leader is, of Mandalorians. So that's just my own personal.
I'm gonna go with, I think, A, legacy, and it's that important because it's the one and only. B, isn't gonna stay down because merchandising. We need the Darksaber Reforged coming soon to Galaxy's Edge. It's the same reason why they took Anakin's hilt after it was broken, put some space band-aids on it, and said, "Look, it's Rey Reforged." No,
right?
Merchandising,
maybe.
So,
but we're going to find out. We've only got 2 more weeks until we find out how far we get.
Yes, we do not have very long to wait. It's just 2 more of these. So please join us back here. Join us Sunday for the next episode of the Unifying Force. Can Star Wars fans ever be happy with the new content? Check that one out. I do apologize for those. I was telling people in the pre-show, we had some technical issues. There's a little bit of echoing in there, but I'm doing my best to edit out most of it. So, and keep the story intact. But please still watch the Unifying Force. Monday, Rebels Revisited is going back again, and they're still watching through and waiting through Rebels content. And the more Rebels you know, the more you understand the Ahsoka show. Just
There we go. Enough said.
And of course, Tuesday, come on and join us. Join us in the Virtual Cantina Happy Hour. We'll do an hour or two before Ahsoka drops, talking about stuff that we know so far. We all disappear for about 45 minutes, an hour, and watch the show. And then everybody's back with the holy mess. What was that? And what just happened? And it helps you digest it a little bit. So please, please, please join us. And next Wednesday, I think we got another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. The
Nerf Herders, yep.
And if you want to hear a lot of cursing about space whales, that's the place you're going to hear it.
I love doing I poke the bear. I'm that guy. I have to, as soon as John complains about it, I'm like, my sentence, Virgils are essential to Star Wars.
They're definitely canon now.
Yeah, it completely is. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. We've gone a little long, but hey, it's a big episode. It's a lot to digest. So there was an awful lot of talking to you. Yes, Troy, you will hear John, even if it's not on the screen, you can hear it from here, how his reaction when they flew into the mouth of the space whale. It was just all over. But thank you guys for watching. And until the next time, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Hello there.